begin again.
And when we come back, we'll go over to Armando briefly, as he will get a moment alone with on his walk of shame to the ship.
Considering
I'd say more deep reflection than shame,
he's
you know?
going to go see his girl, so
Oh, yeah, and I did bring up
Okay.
a harsh point involving Mercedes, too, so understandable. That's what your whole journey up until this point was for, was it not? Was
no,
to reunite with her. That was your ultimate goal.
no,
No, not at all.
he did not believe there was any chance of that ever happening.
That was a major curveball to what it
Yeah,
was he was doing. But yeah, Armando, you make your way to the ship. The walk there isn't a nice one, and it's not for lack of scenery. Make your way to the ship, however, to find that everything is uncharacteristically quiet and silent on the ship. As most of the people are on shore leave, there is but a skeleton crew on deck.
I head on board and head below to my cabin. See if Mercedes is down there.
Yeah. Yeah, you find her, and as you open the door, she has several new dresses, several meaning upwards of five or more, strewn on the bed, all of Siberian make, various silks, different colors. She has been shopping, it would seem. As you come in the door, she just kind of half-heartedly looks in your direction as she tries a dress on in front of herself at the at the mirror. And she, hi dear. Oh my, are you okay? You seem distraught.
Mercedes, I need to talk with you. I need to ask questions.
Doesn't seem like a very nice talk at all. She sets the dress down.
I kind of go over and I slump down in a chair. When I left,
Yes, and she rushes over to you, kind of does that thing where she kneels beside you and then inevitably needs to take a knee, as it seems she'll be down there for a while, and places her hands in your lap. She's trying to hold your hands.
and I don't
Get
stop
you
it.
to look at
it.
her. Okay.
When I left all those years ago, I never thought to see you again.
Nor I you.
The only thing I had. Vengeance. To repay the betrayal, death of my father and mother. And
What happened was appalling.
I worked for years to find a way. I've discovered secrets of the world that no one else has ever seen. Learned how to turn the very fabric of reality to weapons. Weapons that scare me. For so long, I never let the few that I made out of my own hands. But as we've gone on this journey, I've begun to share them, to manufacture them for others, and I realize I could make so much more. And part of me feels that I need to, I must. The empire is rotten from within. That rot is spreading. Must fight it. They are the reason my parents are dead. The reason your father fled, and we are in hiding.
At that, she kind of stares down at the ground.
How much of me will remain?
How much of you is even left now?
I don't know. I I was lost in darkness, and then I found you again. I need you to be my light. You must guide me in this. I can't make this decision.
It's not one to be taken lightly.
Do I press on? Do I step back? I take her hand, I lift her up so I can look up into her eyes directly. Are we going to fight, or will we flee to Ecclesia? I can make us a home there. My inventions have already made me more wealthy than I ever imagined. That will only continue to grow. If
But
if
if
you
we
want,
go to Ecclesia, if we go to Ecclesia and disappear, how many more suffer at the hands of the Black Church? I mean, look what happened to the people of Almasawa.
Mercedes, that's the problem. I don't care. I never cared. Forming
Yeah, and at that,
forming the
she
army,
starts at that.
forming the army, the armada, calling them to action. Didn't care about saving them. Just using them. I have not cared about anyone since my parents died. But you.
Yeah, and you can see the tears kind of begin to well up and slowly run down her cheeks
Everything
as
has
her
just
brow furrows.
everyone has just been a means to an end. I have paid my debts. I know those who I owe for their help, and I gift them in return. But it is a matter of balancing the scales, not a matter of heart. There is only one ember left, and it is yours. Tell me what
She
to
just
do,
kind of
Mercedes.
she just kind of shakes her head and in disbelief at your very words. Surely you can't mean these things, she says as her voice begins to crack. You can't be this callous. The boy that I loved left to become a man of war, one that he himself would have detested.
What have I do?
I believe
But I know nothing else anymore.
I believe if you are to move forward in this endeavor, it should be your own choice, not influenced by fears that I have for my father and his safety. Because if it were up to me, I would burn the entire empire for my daddy. Only I were to know where to strike the match. Only because he would do the same for me. I don't even know if he's alive or where he would even be, were he alive. And at that, tears really begin to come as she. And so if I tell you to go, it would only be for my own selfish reasons. This is why I can't tell you truly to go for any other reason than vengeance. And so if you move forward on that, it should be your own choice.
Vengeance it will be.
But we can't forget who you are and leave you behind in this, right? So we don't fight monsters like monsters. We're not the kind that could kill children and women, right? We're not the kind that could persecute a child as we hang their father, right? Just to
No,
seize their assets.
no,
This
my
isn't us,
my rage is targeted, precise.
right? And so we fight a different fight. That's all.
He
It would
nods.
seem this church indulges in pain and suffering. Perhaps we should do the opposite.
I've created potions of healing. I've begun to spread them. I have a device. I, it's very complicated. I can only get it to work a few times a day before it burns out, and I have to rebuild it. But Mercedes, I have brought back the dead.
What?
Nods.
I've seen you work miracles, but surely you jest.
No, your cousin can verify he was there. Power,
Over life and death? As she snatches her hand away and
not.
you see her lip begin to tremble.
It is
You
not
see true fear strike her eyes as she,
not so
are you
simple as
some
that.
kind of god?
No, I am no god. This is science. Power of electricity.
You're insane.
I I can show you the research. I could even show you how to build one yourself.
At
This
that,
is
she kind of laughs and chuckles through the tears.
this is a power all men can hold. It is not an instant all is well. They are still injured. They are still in pain. But they get another chance. Maybe
Something most in the Empire are not afforded. And at that, she reaches out to you in an embrace as I believe that this could mean a new chance for all of us. If all of us are to join in a concerted effort, I believe most of our endeavors should become easier, should we all carry the weight of them. As she looks at you knowingly, you can roll sense motive.
And we've dropped down to a 14.
Okay, yeah, you take her clear meaning in her stoic face as she is implying you should potentially tell everybody everything that she knows a lot of the details, but it seems to her even that there's potential that you may be holding back some stuff you might like to come clean on. Not just her, meaning, there are other people. This prophecy you guys spoke of, it seems in order to change who you are in it, you should stop deceiving yourself, people around you.
He stops and he steps back slightly, still holding her hands. He's like, there is one more thing. I think if we're going to follow this road. He takes a deep breath in, lets it out slowly. I'm going to need to ask for my rings back. And he's expecting her to try and snatch her hands away, but he holds tightly so she can't. He says, how else can I place it on your finger?
Yeah, and more tears at that as she begins to slide the rings off of her fingers. She, my cousin is a captain.
So he has mentioned many times. There's a wide smile beneath the haggard face.
Yes, and at that, you guys kind of embrace.
Alright.
So, anybody making their way to the ship or anything like that, the right around now would be when you would be making it there, your way there.
Alrighty then. Because yeah, I was heading that way to check on Armando, honestly.
Okay.
And okay, so mainly because at least in part because I'm like, Armando, we are going. If you could have some lantern.
We're going into the Shadowlands. Bring those lanterns, yo.
We're going to need some light, please.
So, yeah, Sandoval's going back to the ship. He's been, wearing the same clothes for a few days now, so.
Time to knock the salt off.
Yeah.
Good news, Genji. I just invented this brand new reverse lantern. It absorbs all the light in the area. It'll help you sneak really good.
Say what?
I don't think that's going to help us where we're going.
We need more light where we're
It's
going.
a deluminator.
God damn it, Justin. That's copyrighted.
I'm actually not sure that it is.
It is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Harry Potter and all related indicia.
Hmm. I'm actually not sure that she's the one who created that, so.
Big heavy footfalls land on the ship. It's okay, Bylon. I drop them off kind of like with Leander and Scupper John. They'll take care of you. They helped me out. And I'm sure upon
Yeah,
Scupper John seeing me is
everyone's kind of like slack jawed as you make your way back on
hi
the ship.
everybody.
Scupper John, in particular, is throwing one hell of a fit,
I'm sorry.
acting as
Well,
though
no, I'm not
he is
actually.
henpecking the hell out of you, asking who you think you are, getting him all up in arrears, making him afeared that he may have lost you. He thought you walked clean off the bloody gangplank.
And Scupper John. The gods do what they will. I had no control over that. And I can't
And
apologize
nude to
for it.
boot. And nude to boot. Look, as he holds up all of your clothes.
I don't need those anymore.
Yes.
You can use them
Yes,
for
Yes,
you
you
bandages
do.
do.
if you like.
Yes, you do. As he throws them at you. There are ladies about on this ship, and I'll have you know, you will tuck that thing in.
No, in game, Genji is actually starting to laugh. It's a little it's a little hysteria tinged, but he needed this.
So yeah, I mean, I imagine there would be a little hysteria if Jaeger's got his cock out from the
No.
table Tristan rolled on. It's quite
Well,
massive.
It's not that
problem
exposed, damn it.
is, the problem is, as he places an arm around your massive girth, which would be your shoulders, but he's not tall enough. I let you lean down. And he spins you ever so slightly, motions open handedly, all up and down the docks. There are women, even a few men, you notice, starting to pile up all along the docks. As you have drawn a crowd, it would seem. Scupper John points this out to you.
He really could stop a block.
So, could you please tuck it in? We've not enough food to feed them all.
That's not what
I
they're
grab
hungry
my
for anyway.
I grab my clothes and I head
Yeah,
below
but
decks real
what?
quick and change. Only because you asked, and you saved me life.
Thank all of the bloody gods in your decency.
I still have the loincloth on, I'm just throwing the togas over top of it.
Well, of course.
And your totems, right?
Oh yeah, when I make my way down to my quarters.
No, he brought it all up. It's all
Oh,
your stuff.
okay, cool. Yeah, so I'd
Yep.
put that on.
For him, they're
And as
just,
you
Oh, yes.
part of
putting
the
your
outfit.
clothes on,
You
as
got
you're
to
putting
think
your
though.
clothes back on and your armor and all that stuff, everything seems cleaned, buffed, shined appropriately. Forgive me. Go ahead, Captain.
Knock on Armando's quarters.
Just
So
saying, you got
typically
to
he
think
always
though,
hears me
Tristan.
before I show up.
As far as Scupper
What?
John goes, the totems are just part of your outfit.
Right. Yeah.
So
Most people.
he would just pile them along with your clothes.
Fair.
He's like, well, it's a bit eccentric, but it's
He
Jaeger.
wears them.
He wears them well.
You hear a knock on your lab first. He's always in his lab.
Yeah, he's not in his lab. I guess Daisy answers the door.
Armando? No. Oi, Daisy.
No.
You seen Armando?
Um. Daisy is not there.
Oh,
Daisy is and Arthur are up in the captain's quarters. You knock on the
um,
door and Mercedes opens the door.
In the lab?
I assumed they were one and the same, were they not?
No.
Okay, then no one answers. Forgive me. And the door's
I
locked.
would make my way down the hall to Armando's quarters. Armando,
Okay. Well, I guess at
I
this
would just
point
knock
Mercedes
and
answers.
Correct.
yeah, I'm not barging in like I would normally do. Well, I wouldn't barge in your chambers personally, knowing you have a wife.
Not yet. Working
Well,
on it.
you both share the
Yeah,
same bed.
she would open the door and
Ah,
kind of her
greetings, Mercedes.
expression would shift to one of pure horror as she, you look terrible.
What do you mean? I feel
Um,
great.
you look like you don't feel great. You look like you feel sticky.
I I can assure you I've had a bath 4 days ago.
Right. What do you, what is it you need?
Is uh is Armando there? He's free. I had a question. I have this new item and I don't know what it is. I was hoping he could probably know because he knows everything and things that aren't known.
At that, she kind of rolls her eyes and, yeah, sighs, opens the door slightly, turns, and Armando, there is a massive yacht at the door, beard and all.
Friend, I don't mean to interrupt you, but could I ask you for a bit of your time?
Give me a
You
few
might
minutes,
be
I'll find the
interested.
scissors and razors.
What? Everyone keeps on bringing up. I just haven't shaved in a.
I literally pull one
I
of her
kind of stopped
mirrors off the
talking mid
shelf and
sentence,
hold it up to his face.
and I kind of like recollect how long was I walking in the forest of Avalon in the Grey Woods before I came through the thicket.
It's hard to tell time when the sun's not rising or setting. Everything just stays that gray, overcast tone.
If I may, it was either a day or a year. You're not sure.
It
I
could have been a
was
day. It could have been a year.
I was wandering through the woods for a. I don't know. I like it. It's not. It keeps my face warm. Anyway, no, that's not what I came to you about. I have this, and I kind of pull out the. Well, I wouldn't really. I would turn around in motion and show the new sword that I have. It is not my original Jotun glaive. This one is made entirely out of a singular bone. And Jaeger doesn't know what type of bone it is. I can't discern the animal. You have books, right?
Yes, but none of them are really of biology.
You'd at least tell me if this is good enough to be a useful sword. I don't want it to break on me, you know.
Jaeger, going to be honest, in this case, you're probably more of an expert than I.
Hmm, I understand entirely what you mean. Thank you. I'll put your tools back in the lab when I'm done using them.
No.
I shut the door.
No.
Make my
No.
way down towards the lab. Thank you, Armando.
I have to go kill a Jotun now.
I was gonna say, I assume you start chasing after him. No, wait.
What do these glass think?
Well,
Shit.
first off, remember the door's locked. He'd have to break the door to get in.
Forget who you're talking to.
Oh,
No, I didn't.
True,
okay.
but is he going to?
Yeah, I'm not saying he can't.
Is he? Is he going to know if he did? As he just kind of opens the door.
Your door's
No,
sticking a
no.
little bit, Armando.
Here, don't worry, I've got it. Bam. Just barely jars it with the palm of his hand. See? Perfect.
That easy. I go look towards the closest thing that looks like a science, like
No,
tongs.
because you don't literally you don't make it in there unless you break down the door.
Kidding.
By the way, we're all
I'm
yeah,
not
it's
doing that.
a whole bunch of we're just fucking off. So
I'll wait for him outside the door. There has to be something you can do to.
If you want me to try and find out how strong it is, I would actually have to try and take a small sliver of it off.
Yeah, wouldn't mind.
I've made my way down at this point
Okay.
as well. Sorry.
oh yes, Genji, you've you've accompanied the yacht, and he's quite big.
Well,
You can
I
stand in
was
his
just
shadow. And
I was up on deck for a minute because I was recovering from the bout of laughter that the whole scenario with him engendered.
Yeah, because as
So
soon as he went downstairs and Scupper John was just like, "Go on, you heathens, leave him alone." Just the whole crowd. Aww. And
yeah,
totally
crazy
party.
kids they grow up so fast.
anyway, so I'm like, Armando.
Yes.
I have a couple requests. For one, okay. No, he actually looks kind of uncomfortable. Like, well, I look a little uncomfortable. I'm like, first of all, I was going to ask, are you willing to accompany me, at least on the journey to the mountain?
Blink, blink. What mountain?
Ah, you didn't catch that bit. So, I am currently being held under, I believe the imperial equivalent would be, basically, if I don't pass this trial, I'm dead.
Okay.
Because I am accused of treason to Tiberia in general.
Oh yes, they want his head, Armando. Did he fail to mention that?
I hadn't really had. I mean, I said they wanted. They kind of want. He the one kind of wants me dead.
No, don't leave out the gritty
He's
details.
very
They want
obviously
his
trying
head.
to switch tracks in his head. So if you go do this trial on a mountain,
It is traditionally the trial undertaken by those looking to be raised to the rank of lords of Tiberia.
okay.
Armando, there's that word again. Traditions.
Yeah.
It has been used for this purpose before, effectively. My going and taking it. Well, if I succeed, then obviously I am in the right, and if I die, well, then they got their corpse. I am not thrilled about this, but to be absolutely blunt, if I don't do this, my clan will suffer, and perhaps more significantly, our ability to get Tiberian aid to fight against the Black Church is going to be severely impaired, just by association of me.
Okay.
And Genji, you're pretty sure the Stygic Order would come to the aid of anyone going up against something like that.
Strategic order, but they're not they're not the.
They're not
They
the
have,
authority of Career.
They're not the Lord.
yeah, as I recall, they have a
They
lot
claim
of pull
asylum.
here.
They claim asylum here. Correct.
Yeah, they are not actually the government. So if you would be willing to accompany me, at least part of the way, I would appreciate your support. The other thing is, we're going to need to go through the Shadowlands.
Okay.
Do you have any more of those lanterns?
Yes.
We're going to need them.
He goes over and he opens a crate.
Thank
Phil,
you.
I was planning to sell them here. He gestures and there's like 3 more crates.
it's potentially the most peaceful item he's created, aside from things like sewing machine. You know,
I
to
really want
be
to
honest,
argue this.
most of the designs
Let me look
were
at my.
never intended for war.
They
Most of
just
his
adapt
designs,
really well.
correct. That's it. Most of the designs create the byproduct of, this that becomes an implement of destruction. Like, ooh, conceptually, that would really fuck up some shit. Let's see if I can do it.
I have duct tape. I don't think that's been
Okay.
used for war yet.
So
Or my plasma globe.
the duct tape's quite peaceful,
How
actually.
about my carbonated
Quite
drinks?
versatile. Yeah.
Have those yet been used for war? I've been
No,
gone
but
a while. I
man,
don't know.
no, but somebody has drank one a little too fast, and ouch, man,
No one's
that
shoved their
thing
head
bites
under a
back.
power hammer yet, have they?
Not intentionally.
Somebody shoved somebody else's head under one?
Yeah, Decker, however, thanks a lot, mate. This makes stuff so much easier.
I did pitch the idea where we kind of non sequitur Meridian Isle episode, where Armand for our Christmas episode that Armando's ice machine has gone wild in Martano Bay.
Ah,
It's snowing in
Nothing to
Montana.
do with our current quest, just one of those little Christmas special.
could be amusing.
Oh.
Martano Bay is frozen.
It's beginning to
And
look
everyone is baffled.
like Ice Age.
All I want for Christmas is.
Okay, so
Oh, so
what
forgive me.
would
Sandoval. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say before? What would I even be rolling to check? Like like I said, it's the problem of I don't know
So
biology and I don't know
first,
melee weapons that well.
and don't know much about science. Oh no.
Wrong song.
But anyways,
There's a lot
right.
about science.
I mean, I could make an
Anyways,
alchemy check, but is that gonna do it?
yes.
So it's
Roll it up.
bone.
Firstly, an alchemy check.
All right.
Jaeger's big bone.
Really? Now?
Now you make the dick joke. Now you make the.
31.
Okay. So you run a few preliminary tests. Very, very, very quickly. Grab some acid, drip it on there, nothing happens. You try a few other things, and you come to the determination that if this is bone, which it seems, it is so incredibly fucking durable as to mean it would take you some effort in an alchemical endeavor to find some way to erode or destroy this thing.
Okay.
Okay. And alchemically, metallurgically, whatever kind of way you try to discern what it is, yeah, you got nothing other than, yeah, looks like bone. And
Okay.
so
Well, I can try a knowledge nature check.
you can roll one. Yep.
I have a whole 8.
Boom. Get it in.
So that makes a total of 9. Like, well, pretty sure it's not a
Looks like
whalebone, but I can't think what else would
no.
be large enough.
It's far too dense to be a whalebone. But
That's
now that you mention that, it is incredibly light. For as dense and heavy as it should be, it is not. It is very light. Um,
so. That's what I tell you. Okay, I don't know what this came from. It's not whalebone. You're familiar with whalebone.
very big.
Start trying to name all bones.
And it would need to be from something close to that size, and yet that would be relatively strong, and yet not as heavy as it should be based on size.
Can I make a knowledge nature with Armando?
Yep.
Bump
I
his
don't
shit.
think it's going to come up under nature, I'll be honest. I mean, I do
Gotta
have...
be lazy.
I mean, you know, the bardic knowledge guy probably
27
can't
on
help.
my knowledge nature.
What was it?
A 27 on my knowledge nature.
27. So, judging by where you potentially picked it up, as far as you're aware, could be a number of things that aren't going to fall under this knowledge, and that much you're aware of. Because nothing in your natural knowledge tells you that this should
What
exist.
it is, yeah.
Whew, I wouldn't ask the guy
Fair.
with bardic knowledge though, but
So, no, he did. He already asked Leander. Leander
true.
could not identify it either. All he said was that it was incredibly old. And so you could roll a knowledge arcana.
Dragon thigh bone. I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
Jameson,
Yeah.
shut up.
I don't know if you see it, but I rolled an Arcana check while you were talking to Tristan.
Forgive me. I was in the kitchen.
Ah, yeah, because you're off roll 20. So I'll go ahead and tell you that it was a total of 26.
My laptop went to sleep.
Wake up! Grab a brush, put a little makeup.
26?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From what you can tell, this is a magical creature, and from all the references that you can gather and talking with Arthur, bouncing ideas, you're pretty sure, yeah, this is a dragon bone.
Hmm.
Ancient indeed.
And Jim's laptop went to sleep.
As long as it's on
Although-
his laptop.
With it. Love it.
Although it doesn't have any, elemental qualities that you can discern. But yeah, from any references you can garner, yeah, it's and you notice that pretty much if there is anything on deck of the ship that could bust this thing or break it, maybe Arthur. Arthur might be able to bite it. You're not sure. You've seen him fucking chew up incredible stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna feed it to Arthur. Yet.
Okay.
Okay. So, Jaeger? What you have here is the bone of an ancient flying lizard. Believe they've been extinct, or at least I believe they're extinct, since about the time the world flooded.
Correct.
Just wasn't enough room left for them. They were very territorial, according to the stories, tended to fight amongst themselves quite a bit. And with the lack of land, well, they drove it. Unless there's
Yeah,
some
kind of
water
motions
version.
at the bone. Kind of drove them to motions at bone.
Yeah. As I hand it back to him and I turn away, I think most people called them dragons.
Sorry, Justin. I'm just remembering the one game. Yes, they're dragons, but they are in fact great big fucking lizards. Don't tell them that though.
Yeah, that's the important part. Don't tell them that.
They don't want to hear that. Okay, so in the meantime, Sandoval, what are you and Yule doing? Business as usual? Or are you doing anything spectacularly special? Because if Yule were able to speak freely, he would ask permission to speak freely, Captain. I would love a drink.
Give me 1 second. I gotta help my wife with something.
All right, pausing.
Sure.
I mean, as previously stated, Sandoval will be going directly to his quarters to get a fresh change of clothes. And assumingly now with Yule in tow.
Yule would have waited outside of your quarters for you to finish changing clothes. Implying that whatever the hell he's got to talk to you about is pretty important. Seems you can't wait.
So, Sandoval would put on a fresh shirt and invite him in.
Yeah, as he, Captain, if you offered me a drink, I'd take it.
Yeah, Sandoval would go up over to the barrel of Yacht and Brew, now considerably less full than it used to be. But pour some large mugs of that.
And yes, he takes a nice healthy draught as he finishes his drink, kind of looks to you. This weird, somber look on his face when you're not accustomed to seeing on him. As he looks down at his own feet, takes another large breath, almost a sigh, finishes the rest of his mug, looks up to you, says, Captain, something I must do that will take me away from the ship for a time.
Sandoval
Know
takes
that
it.
I've sworn to you that my feet would be wherever your feet were upon the deck of any ship. But now this changes things. Seems Jaeger has experienced something that the leadership of my clan would be interested in. I need find them, and I would never ask you to afford me the resources of the ship to find them in a war-torn country like Maw. And so I would ask that when we made it to Ecclesia, you relieve me of my oath for the time.
Sandoval
It would
kind of.
seem it would seem he is loath to ask you to come or to help him. You know what I mean?
This is a
Potentially, he
thing
never
you
even
must.
considered that was a possibility.
This is Sandoval. This is a thing you must do on your own.
No, sir, I would never assume to be afforded the resources of the captain in such a personal endeavor.
Oh, if this is something you have to do, it's something you have to do. I am asking if this is something you feel you must do alone. The light, the debt with notwithstanding, this is something you feel you must do, then it is something you must do.
Would you travel into a war-torn country such as Mauve, knowing we're shadowed by such a mighty foe,
You know,
be pinned against two armies, two enemies, the Imperial Armada and the Black Church itself? You
Sandoval
would
would
put yourself and your ship and your men at risk for me?
Sandoval sets down his yacht and brew, goes over to a cabinet, to a particularly fine set of crystalware, pulls out a bottle of exquisite rum, and pours just a small draft in each. He just looks at you. He's like, I've always wanted to go to Mauve. I don't really feel like I've seen the place.
He would reach out and kind of looks as though you could knock him over with a feather. Flabbergasted as he reaches for his rum.
Sandoval lifts up a glass and then takes this or sips the rum because it is not a rum you shoot down. In a toast.
Captain, I can't ask you to do this.
I didn't remember you asking. The implication
And he
then
would,
is you don't have to ask.
at that, a look of understanding kind of melds onto his face as he shakes his head knowingly, toasts with you. Slight chink of the glass. Chink. And
Easy over there in
ever
the
so
corner, just
eloquently sips from the glass something that seems alien for a man of his stature.
imagine Daisy over in the corner, silently witnessing the entire thing.
Writing the whole time, pretending she didn't notice everything that just happened.
Yep, the
She
fact that Sandoval
looks over
completely
her
forgot she
shoulder.
was in there when he changed and everything.
Looks over her shoulder. Her glasses seem to be slightly askew as she. Um, am I intruding? She says, sort of breathlessly. You could roll your sense motive if you like, but it's a relatively low DC to realize that she seems exasperated, hanging on every word.
24.
You're pretty sure she's Twitter pated.
Say, look at Yule and just kind of grin. Not at all. Not at all. As he sends another glass her way.
That was the most poetically romantic thing she has ever witnessed. It was like right out of a storybook. She's not so sure Leander could have written it as well as it just happened. It's so sweet that you're gay for one another. No, that's not what she thinks.
Oh shit.
She just got to bear witness to a pretty tender moment, though. It was quite revealing for her. So Yule will be going to shore as he has some things he needs to tend to try to open some lines of communication to Clan Kraken on a war front. Pretty rough.
Well, if anyone can get through anywhere, perhaps he can hire a Taverian messenger. Sandoval would suggest this to him.
It's sort of his thought process in that endeavor as well. He's
If he doesn't have
thinking if
the
there's a
appropriate
messenger,
coin, then come talk to him.
aye, Captain. And at that, not even a full 90 seconds after Yule leaves your presence, young man with a pretty ragged scar down the side of his face, still covered in fresh pink. Seems as though the food on deck has been aiding in a lot of the people's recovery. Bless Scupper John. But runs up and he's wearing a vest, no shirt underneath. Just kind of some kind of head wrap to keep the sun from baking his head out on the ocean. As he salutes, looks at you. Billy Bones reporting, Captain. In lieu of a quartermaster, I'm here.
I
Been
know this
assigned by
guy.
Yule. He's been assigned by Yule. While Yule is away, this is the guy he says, hey, you step up.
Yeah. So this is a guy I know though.
Yes, yes, you've seen him here, there. You may have taken the time to get to know
So
a
I mean, if
lot of
he's
these guys, but there are a few fresh faces, and so you've seen him, but he's one of the guys that got picked up on Omisawa. Seems he's a
okay.
quick learn. He's a quick study, and yeah, this is the one that you'll trust to get shit done when he's not around.
All right. So you're to be Yule's second, the one he's trained then.
Captain, you can call it lieutenant or something of that effect.
Be first officer or something like that. At a game, I'm not sure.
Nah,
Whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Right. Sandoval would tell him to see himself outfitted properly for the post while Yule is busy.
And looks down at himself, his shoeless feet, all the way up. What's wrong with what I'm wearing?
You're not just a sailor now, man. If you are to take on the responsibilities of the ship, that means you represent the ship.
Hi, Captain.
Yeah. See yourself uh
I'll
properly
put up
clothed.
proper pants.
He gives him a gold or two to, or he gives him about 2 golden coins to go find some clothes and a suitable clothing and whatnot to and a hat to accompany him with. Said if it doesn't, say gives him 10 gold coins to buy everything. Said if there's more needed, you know, have them charge it to the ship. Or send a bill to my quarters. Grab a blade
Yeah,
from
he
the
seems.
armory. It is to be peace bonded while at port.
All right. He seems very receptive. Um, yeah, you have confidence he'll do what you're saying. At least
Well,
while he's standing at attention, he's not like standing there, all thumbs, slack jawed, hands in his pockets or anything stupid. He
but
seems the
yeah, I
proper
mean,
part, just not dressed the role.
yeah. And if he's going to be representing, the ship and me as my captaincy, he should look the part.
Fair.
And
He
what
will
was
he will take shore leave, and he will return and see to the armory.
because I'm sure anyone that's been on this ship knows if he were to lie on that measure, then not be part of Yule's, or the one that Yule's trained, Yule would whip him for with an inch of his life for lying to the captain.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't want that, and well, I don't think anybody wants that, but
No. To be beaten with a cat of nine till you need someone to help you walk. No, 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 no.
yeah. So understanding that's the consequence, Sandoval's really not going to question it.
You're aware of the severe weight his name holds on the deck of this ship. No man who's
Yule,
learned under him the past several weeks would take that lightly.
yeah.
And to the
The
point of
bones.
familiarity, to the point of familiarity, yes, you're aware he's one of the guys you picked up it on the Stella.
Yeah. But, as far as seeing to the crew and assigning them duties, that is largely Yule's task.
Oh, everyone has a job. He's just here to make sure they get it done.
Yeah. But, so as far as Sandoval's concerned, if Yule recommends him, then that's the guy who he's going to trust in.
Sounds good to me. And with that, few men make their way back to the ship. As men slowly trickle back in, other men trickle back as they're leaving the skeleton crew on deck per Yule's orders. So most men can just enjoy as much shore leave as potentially possible.
Probably spending
As
more
it would
money. Well, they're
seem,
definitely spending more money than they need to on accommodations on shore, because as much as it's nice to save money, it's also nice to sleep in a bed.
yeah. And let's be honest, not very many sailors, intend on saving a whole lot of cash when, you know, they're like, sure, hell yeah, let's go fucking burn the bar down. We'll come
Please
back to
don't.
work to get rest. We'll sleep when we get back to work.
I say bed, but let's be honest, they're sleeping at the bars.
Yeah.
If this bar does not have a rowdy tavern, or if this little coastal town does not have a rowdy tavern, it does now.
They're about to tonight. Okay. And so it would seem business as usual back on deck. Everyone's sort of doing what is familiar to themselves. However, Armando, I assume you may spend the day doing something that will surprise the shit out of me. Go right ahead, lay it on me. What do you got?
I don't know. I've been
Justin.
pulled in so many directions.
Justin's like, shit, can't hold up to my reputation.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me astound. Shit.
He's like, what are you doing? Nothing. Well, I wasn't wrong. You surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah, man, the profounder. That's you.
You know what? Because I'd talked about upgrading stuff before. If we're going into the Shadowlands, like I might be joining, I want more than just this little handheld lantern. I want a Jaeger-sized lantern. I am building the equivalent of a spotlight.
Dope.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of evil,
I will feel no. I will fear.
because I carry a big can of fuck you.
I will fear no shadows because there aren't any.
Yeah, guys,
Yay!
that does not rhyme at all.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not a poet.
I'm not a poet.
I
Jinx.
actually am technically a published poet.
Boom.
And as such, I will tell you, it does not have to rhyme to be poetry.
Indeed. I do remember that from literature class.
Well,
See,
I
Mrs.
did.
Jones, I remember.
I was
I
never
dig.
very good at
You
poetry.
dig.
She
I
did.
dig. You dig. We dig. She digs. It's not a very complex poem.
But it is
But it's
deep.
deep.
Deep. I'm amongst my people. Okay. Has anybody got anything spectacular they would like to do over the course of the next 2 days?
I
As
talked.
there will be some downtime.
Well, I talked to Mercedes. And does she want to do this?
So she's pretty distraught about her father. She'd
Hmm?
already explained. She wants to try and find him, right?
Yeah.
But knowing that that's a madcap endeavor, as the potential of him even being alive is, saddeningly even a potential, and she doesn't like that. So the reality is, if you give her a day to think, she may have a more conducive plan or idea to present to you.
Okay.
But currently, she wants salted fucking earth, right? And it
Dude,
would seem with
she
your whole
is my.
final ember of hope
Yeah.
speech, she does not want to let you down. And so she would ask that you save that question for dinner that evening, at the very least.
Okay. I'm okay. Real quick. I wasn't talking about the confession.
You talking about the Shadowland thing?
No,
Marriage.
the
The
marriage.
marriage. Yeah. Yes, she's never wanted anything more. Her heart has pined for you since your departure. It's been everything her father could do just to betroth her to another, as she has resisted every suitor, much to her father's chagrin, as it would seem, as she motions at everything, the general state of everything. It would seem father had some skeletons in his closet. I know not how deep Sandoval's knowledge is of our whole family's corruption, but this is a startling revelation to me. I mean, yes, some extra money here or there for a few extra crates of God knows what going into heathenish lands, I could only imagine. But, this is different. They attacked us at our home.
Do you wish to wait until we find him? Or we could.
No, no.
Out of game. Well, I have some free time tomorrow. I mean,
Yes, yes. And she would, you know, grab you by both hands, pull you close, tears, more kisses, as she becomes slightly crossed with you in a playful manner. I've not cried this much in years. This is all your fault. How dare you make a girl cry the day before her wedding?
I
They say it's bad luck or
I kiss her
something. I'm
cheeks.
sure. I'm sure somewhere in Mauve it's bad luck.
Everything's bad luck somewhere in Mauve.
You cad.
Everything for you.
So Jaeger, you got anything special happening until the wedding tomorrow?
We should probably tell somebody else about that, huh?
Should probably let Sandoval know he's attending and overseeing
Officiating.
the wedding tomorrow.
Great, thanks. So this means that the day after her wedding, I'm taking her new husband off to possibly die. Thanks.
Like men,
Yeah.
Jaeger proudly looks on. Ah, what? It's romantic, really.
No, no, it's not.
You know what they
Actually,
say?
the bad part is the tales of my
Better to be
people.
known as a man than to be taken out by a sky lizard. And I walk off to the deck.
What is a sky lizard?
Eaten by a sky lizard the day after his wedding. How more profound of a death can you get, man? As Leander is just scribbling furiously.
I actually look at Genji. What giant reptile flies through the sky? Or once did?
Dragon.
Yeah.
Leander
What did you do?
Leander half-heartedly from the back. Frog door? No, not really.
No, I'm looking at Armando. What did you do?
I described it and then gave him the name, but by the time I gave him the name, he wasn't listening anymore.
Face in my hands, and you're surprised?
No,
Meanwhile, in the
just
background,
disappointed.
somewhere else on the ship, Yule! It's a sky lizard bone! Yeah!
Yule, where are you?
Yes, Yule is taking his leave, heading ashore.
I am going to be spending this time meditating for the most part, because
Good man. Oh, your concentration.
Okay,
Ooh,
that's an
I
18 on the flippin' die. That's a good roll. What is my concentration? I'm going to actually have to put points into concentration now. 19.
Okay. Yes. Relatively simple for you to slip into your air quotes meditative trance. You're finding it actually a lot easier to do.
After I did had the whole moment of climbing climbing the waterfall moment, because
Correct.
I still don't know what that's about, and the problem is that like I was going to talk to my grandfather about it, and then things happened.
I had a thought. And I'm going to remind the GM you basically asked for this.
We got
Okay. So, we're going into the Shadowlands. And the lights seem to work. And the only other thing I know that works particularly well is Jade.
correct.
I don't have a good way to test this is my big problem. Trying to design a thing that literally shines Jade light.
Okay. So you mean like a way to throw a piece of, jade,
No,
getting
Could
it
you
thin enough.
shave down a
No,
piece
I
of
mean
that's
blade?
literally what I
as a
was thinking
lid.
was a
Both eyes.
literally getting a piece of jade so thin that the light passes through it. Not
Okay.
a piece of
So
a light piece of jade, a piece of jade light.
yes, a
Com-
piece of jade used as a lens, right? Some kind of
yeah,
focus.
yeah.
Yes. So with your working knowledge of the way the jade has been used thus far, yes, you're pretty sure conceptually. I mean, you could pull it off. Whether or not it's going to work the way you expect may take some testing, but you're relatively certain you could acquire a chunk of jade and make it into something that akin to a lens.
Another thought: could you, by chance, use jade dust with silicate from the sand to form a piece of jade glass, or like basically jade infused glass?
Yes, that is certainly a possibility, but it would take me a lot longer to do that than to do what I'm currently doing, and apparently we don't have a ton of time.
All right. Yeah. Because I mean, I was gonna say jade dust at least wouldn't be that hard to acquire from anyone that carves jade.
Right?
True. You know what I probably could do? Probably could make you a
What's
couple
that?
jade bullets.
That would be pretty cool. Did I get my
Yes.
jade pendant back after I threw it at the guy?
Um, if you asked him for it, if not, no.
Yeah, I didn't ask him for it, so I need
Then
another
no.
jade pendant at some point.
Well, I'm going into town to pick up some jade at some point. And I'm going to guess it is expensive.
Yes, it is essentially the same price as what one might purchase for like silver dust, up priced. So same cost of silver. So however much of it you need, it would be the price of silver, only 1.5 that amount.
Um,
So half again is expensive. So it would be the cost for the dust would be, in weight. How much does a silver piece weigh?
I know the rules for Pathfinder. I don't know if D&D ever defined that.
Well, then what's Pathfinder have to say for itself?
Pathfinder says all coins are 50 to a pound.
Okay.
Gold coins are therefore
So
smaller.
a pound of silver dust is a silver coin, right? Worth a silver coin's worth.
Okay.
Is that correct? Pound of silver dust as the
Be
equivalent.
50 coins, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem when you're viewing commodities versus like actual,
Yeah.
because
Right.
there's
It's
labor
not.
involved
You're
to
not
create it and all the other stuff.
correct. You're not taking it as money.
Right. Look, can I just?
And here's the actual part. It's unquantifiable simply because you're going to buy it and use it for crafting. So if you just want to spell yet again an X amount and say here, this is crafting material,
Okay.
specifically this
This is specifically jade.
particular crafting material,
Yeah.
I am totally fine with that
All right.
because that's the mechanic of crafting. For simplicity's sake,
So I'm
we can
willing
do
to.
that. I don't have enough hair to pull out.
So he needs a new medallion. I need a new medallion. I don't never had a medallion. Have a feeling where we're going, everyone should have at least one.
Okay.
So how much is that going to cost?
What's the Tavirian jade coin cost? Or how what
It
what
is a
is the
platinum. That
Ooh.
is 1 platinum.
So 10 gold each.
Yes. 10
And
gold per medallion. Your lens will be half that.
Sandoval would spring for his own.
Cover it. Since I'm going out and buying all this. So if I can get it, I will spring for, say, 250 gold worth of jade material for crafting. As well as the 25 gold spent for the disc for the lens and then the 2 medallions. So total of 275. If I'm using Merovingian money, how much does the exchange for that make it?
Oh, so here your exchange rate
Yeah.
is equivalent. It's a
Oh,
1-for-1 here. There's no loss.
okay. I was not.
Severia strives towards neutrality.
Okay. I kind of feel like I'm ripping them off, but you know.
And so do they.
That they're ripping me off?
No,
Or that I'm
that you're
ripping them off?
ripping them off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't want.
I understand.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I catch that they feel that, and I'm like, you know what? I do have Tavirian silver. I switch over and I pay with Tavirian silver instead because I don't want that resentment.
Okay.
Out of game, I'm trying to clear my
I mean,
karma.
there wouldn't have. That's fair. There wouldn't have been much. I mean, they would have did it with a smile, as you know.
Actually, you know what? And we go back again to my ability to sense motive, and I rolled a. I botched. I haven't the slightest clue.
That's fair. And so they just smile at you
I see. I will
and
say that I
say,
seem surprised that there
"Thank you."
isn't an exchange rate, but I will accept it.
Okay. So Genji, after several minutes hanging out in what is essentially a silent limbo, so to speak, as you begin to clear your mind, you find yourself wandering for a time in this gray mist. All about you, you hear water running constantly. And that same whimpering and crying of female's voice as interlaced amongst it, inappropriately timed, however, as though it's echoing and reverberating back and forth, but sounding almost as though it's multiple people, in that the timing is off. They are saying various things, various lamentations, helps, uh, pleas, cries of suffering. Just the voices sound very distraught, right? You wander for a time until your flute begins to play. One somber, long note, incredibly long note that no human lung could hold. You make your way through the darkness, through the gray mist, eventually finding your way to a clearing where there is no light, but there is unlight, if that makes sense. Where light should be, it casts no shadow, only the light that should be there is more overcast. So it's like a gray haze. Um, Genji may not have much of a frame of reference for looking at a negative of a picture, but Jim does, and that's essentially what you're looking at, like some monochromatic inversion of color, leaving everything to look as though it is a negative of itself. You wander out onto this plateau here, and these islands are floating amongst the gray mist and connected by these bridges.
Hmm.
You can hear across these bridges on the other side um, that lamentful crying.
We'll start to move across the bridges. I say this because I can't move the character.
You cannot. Lame.
Nope.
Throw one down, and I'll size up. Open.
I was like, remind me afterwards, and I'll go over. I think we
Oh,
figured out a way to
I know
fix
what
it.
happened. Nope, I know what happened. I made it on the wrong layer. So.
Really?
You're on the map.
You are the map. Forgive. But yes, you should be able to move yourself now.
So I'm walking steadily. I'm not hurrying, but neither am I moving slowly. You know what I mean? This is
Yes. She is knelt before an altar that could either be a shrine to someone fallen or a holy shrine. It, not sure. Either way, as you approach, she is still weeping, but her hands move away from her face as she doesn't get up from her knelt position on her knees. She sort of somberly turns at the waist, not like the neck. She turns at the waist, looks towards you, and kind of wordlessly stares in your direction. If she is talking, there is no auditory sensation reaching your ears. Sounds like a reverberating echo from so far or vast of a distance as to be from anywhere. It's a directionless mumble. You see her lips begin to move, and yet again it is offset. It is not timed appropriately.
okay. Is
The
she speaking
reverberation,
Siberian?
it's so jumbled. You're not very certain.
Ma'am?
But hello?
I can read
Hello?
lips.
I know that. That's
Okay,
why
I'm just making sure.
I was about to say, roll your read lips. As the reverberating makes it so loud and cacophonous, it's indiscernible. And you roll a basically a general wisdom or intelligence check, whichever you prefer, as they will both garner a different idea of what is happening.
They're the same.
Fair. So, insightfully, you're aware, just looking at her, what other language could she be speaking, right? But
Draconic?
you're discerning that that's potentially what's happening, right? Is it's so weird to see and hear because you see her mouth moving in Tiberian, but you hear echoes reverberating in Draconic. That's why it's weird and thunderous and cacophonous because it's just weird. It takes you a minute to figure out. But yes, you eventually discern that you could potentially read her lips. And after she repeats whatever it is she's saying a few times, you do start to discern that she is repeating something. And she is saying, help, 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 over and over until eventually you catch on what she's saying and you give her some implication that you understand. Then she
Yeah, no.
motions.
So how can I help?
She motions next to herself calmly and pats the floor as though you should probably sit with her. And the pseudo dragon that is wrapped around her upper torso seems to be coming directly out of the front of her robe. And you don't see a form wrapping around her body underneath of the robe, implying it's literally crawling off of her skin, potentially some kind of tattoo.
Okay.
As she turns, so does it. They move symbiotically. Pats the floor next to her. So
I move and kneel.
yes, she motions towards the altar and kind of wordlessly motions, implying something that you're not 100% on, but potentially after a few more hand motions, you gather that she's saying the image that is portrayed on the altar. And then she puts her hand at her breast, implying me. And then she motions towards the vast, empty gray out in a direction of the void. And she looks lamentful. You gather that to mean, well, whatever you extrapolate from it. And the implication is that that image has something to do with her out there.
What is the image at the altar?
The image at the altar is a dragon.
Is it a particular dragon?
It is.
It is the lady from the water, isn't it? Or
It
lady
is.
of the water.
It is the life-giving water dragon. The mother of all life here in Tiberium.
I turn to her. Here's the thing, I'm not trying to put it. The way I'm imagining things is there's a part of me that's going, holy shit, holy shit. The other part of me is like, of course it is. One of those, I'm in that weird dream state where there's kind of a disconnect.
Right.
But I go deep into a bow.
And she reaches down, grabs, as you finish your deep bow, she actually would, kind of force you back up and move her robe side to side in a lewd gesture that would potentially reveal the breast, but in this instance reveals a breastless abdomen that is torn asunder, splayed where the organs and entrails should be. There is nothing, it is hollow. No heart where there should be one. And at this, I need you to roll a will save.
35.
Yeah, holy shit, but yeah. You're literally staring into the most profound womb of life, and it is barren and void. All life from the cosmos could spew forth from that if given half a chance. And it is barren. And you are stricken with this profound sense of duty. You feel the need to do something.
Game, I need to literally restore the life-giving mother. No pressure.
Right. You got this, right?
You know what? Yeah, because if I don't, well, I think we might all be in some deep shit. So, hey, happy thoughts. Think positive, boys.
Suddenly,
And
all
I
the
kind
other
of,
issues don't seem so bad.
yeah. I'm about to go climb a mountain to be judged. Mom, am I
And then
good?
she realizes you you understand, and she very excitedly sort of pins the robe back, using her fingers, and sort of very happy with a smile actually flashes her face, and she very excitedly is trying to convey something else to you.
Okay, wisdom.
Yes.
Ooh, 15.
Yes, and she sees that you understand, and she's realizing you're becoming a little confused by her over exaggerated hand gestures. She takes a moment to, steady herself and begins to motion, and the hand motions and the lip reading together. She is able to convey to you that wherever she is, she cannot see, she cannot hear, she cannot speak. This is why all she can do is cry out in pain. It is somewhere far, far, far to the west or east. It's hard to tell here in the void, but the stars are harder to read here than they are where you're at, and they're nearly impossible to read where you're at. So, in my confusion, this is where I've been able to contact you. You're the first. It seems no one else can hear me.
I will. I will do what I can. At a game, I am willing to try. I just very quietly. I'm not sure what good that will. Feels like I am stumbling constantly.
And she knowingly shakes her head, gives a nod of agreement, and she motions everything around, implying that yes, she understands. Look where she's found herself. You think you stumbled, buddy? Your job wasn't nearly as important. I dropped the ball in the first place. All right, you're the backup here. And so yeah, she grabs you by your face, hand on either side, and stares at you very levelly, eye to eye. She motions down towards the inner folds of your robe and produces the flute. You're not sure how she grabbed it. You didn't feel her reach in your robe. It's just there. She produces the flute in a set of arms that have reached out from under the robe of their own volition, as the other two hands have never left your face.
Yep.
Two more arms reach out, and she ever so carefully strokes and caresses the flute as she holds it like a small child. And she turns to you and presents it to you as an answer to your question, implying follow the flute, as its intentions will always remain pure. Listen to it, allow it to guide you. It is more than just some fancy dowsing rod. Go to the North Peaks with my blessing. Seek the wisdom of the maiden there. Procure better understanding of the things beyond the veil. You must set things aright, spirit warrior, for there are none left. The Phoenix clan, far too steeped in their traditions. No, no, no. The musical instrument bearers are deafening to my cries for some reason. So go with my blessing. Become the shepherd you are meant to be. She places the softest kiss on your brow.
As you will it, honored mother.
And she bows to you deeply and returns to her lament, begins weeping again with a renewed fervor, as though you two had not just had your conversation. And in that moment, the world begins to shake. The void, the chasm begins to elongate. The bridges begin to collapse. And you make a break for it. You make it part of the way across the second bridge before it collapses beneath you. You are sucked down into the void, and you start. You're back on the ship, catch your breath. You actually leaning forward holding a lock of hair in your hand as you are splayed forward on the deck of the ship, breathless and sweaty. The average humdrum of the ship is lessened as there is a skeleton crew. So you're not even interrupted. No one even notices. You're left haggard, breathless, sweaty on the deck of the ship. And you sense worry from Glitterbeard.
I do my best to send reassurance back.
Yes.
Although I'm not sure how much he's buying it because I'm kind of shaken. It's like, I'm okay. You are not okay. I'm okay.
I am okay. Funny.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Wow. So many things to do.
You're a busy, busy guy.
Rightio then.
Past year off, man, that workload kind of piled up on you while you were away from the desk.
Apparently. Alrighty. Well, it is 10 after 4. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, I was gonna say this may be a good solid point to break away. Call a pause here.
Yeah, I'm starting to flag a bit.
That's fair. I've not heard from Tristan in a while. He may be already out.
All right. Well, this was certainly an interesting episode. Lots of deep
Hey man,
emotional
we did
trauma going around. And then
we
there's
did a
Sandoval.
whole lot of combat. We did a whole lot of combat, right?
Right.
And now we're shit. Even Sandoval had a little bit of an emotional moment there with Yule, man. And then there's Leander making dick jokes.
Yeah, all our combat was, internal, fighting with ourselves.
To not
Hey man,
strangle
we just did several sessions of combat.
Yeah.
No, completely fair.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that will end this session. See you next
Okay.
time.
GG.